Rob, well earned bonus point, but there were times when they may have gone off the boil a little.
Yeah, I mean, overall I was very pleased. I mean, considering the amount of changes we made, a change at 10, change right across the back row, change in the front row, when you actually, change in the second row, when we actually look at the changes we made within the side, to actually probably put together as good a performance as we did, I think it was great credit to all the players. We had a short training week after a somewhat disappointing performance against the Ospreys, and I think great credit to those lads for the energy and the tempo they brought to the game, because that was ultimately the winning the game for us. Was the speed we could keep in the game, the type of movement we could keep in the game. And yes, there were times in the second half when that kind of dropped away a little bit, and we went a little soft defensively. But I think overall, the boys stuck pretty much to plan, and when we were on plan, we looked very good.
These good performances by some of the players making their first starts as well.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the back row on the whole did very well, and they've replaced a good unit, really, haven't they? I think particularly I was very impressed with the kind of the tackle quality we put in the first half. We talked a lot during the week about just chopping them to ground. Obviously they're big guys, and they like to have a bit of a wrestle and try and hold your arm's length and make offloads, etc., which they actually did at times in the second half. But I think overall, we stuck to our guns at what we wanted to do. We chopped them to ground. We made them keep having to get off the floor, which I think is important when you play big French teams. And I think attackingly, we got good movement in the game. And I think particularly in the first 25 minutes, half an hour, we isolated their big guys very well. And that led to a lot of breaks and a lot of opportunities for us.
2 good tries from Woodward.
Yeah, great to see Ollie, get on the scoreboard, and that's what you want from your wingers, isn't it? If you pick them and they get opportunities, they've got to finish them. I thought he finished them both exceptionally well, and he put in a good shift around the field as well. And obviously, it's always pleasing to take part in a try-saving tackle as well, because I think that just shows that extra bit of something that you want from your back three. You want them fighting very hard as well. You don't want them just there to finish things off. So overall, he'd be very pleased. But as I said, I think with the changes we made and the energy we brought to the game, I've got to give the lads a lot of credit.
Slade a bit off par with his kicking.
Yeah, I mean a little bit, but I think again, he's dropped in at 10 for the first time in quite a while as in 80 minutes, and I think that shows his qualities, that he can move from being pretty much playing all his rugby in the last year at in the midfield, in the centres, and he's dropped in a Champions Cup game at 10, and he's done pretty well, hasn't he? And we always tend to say, if your forwards get at least parity, then your 9 and 10 have got to take a lot of credit for a win, and I think that they can take a lot of credit for a pretty well executed game plan.
You mentioned on television about the quality that Eddie Jones is going to be able to see around the things. Yes. I mean, surely you've got 3 or 4 players in that back line that he's bound to come and have a look at.
Well, you'd think so. It's like I said, he's already said, hasn't he, that he's starting with a clean slate on everybody. That's great for us. It's great for me from a coaching perspective to be able to talk to the English qualified lads and just say, come on, well, it's a clean slate. Let's start racking up some points in your favour now. But obviously that normally starts with winning games of rugby and playing well. And as I said, that we probably didn't show ourselves in a great light last week, but I think this week we certainly showed ourselves more to the qualities that we're probably used to seeing from these Chiefs players.
Having a new head coach in England, does that make it a difference to the players?
Well, it should do. The reality is, it's your human nature should say that they'll want to impress him, and they'll want to make sure they're playing well in these games now when he first starts to look at them. And I would like to think that any of our lads who've got genuine ambitions to play for England will be driven just that little bit more to try and show some qualities now.
What do you think of the appointment?
I don't know. I don't know him at all. So I'm not. I'm one of these people who kind of says things as I see them. I'm looking forward to meeting him. And to discuss our lads and how he sees things going forward, and I'll find it very interesting, and I'm kind of hoping to learn something from the experience. So, and like I said, until I've met him and spent some time with him, I couldn't tell you too much. I don't know anything about his coaching style. I haven't heard too much about it from other people. So, as I said, I'll kind of reserve my judgment until I know a bit about the guy.
Disappointed the phone didn't ring?
No, I'm more than happy here. As I said before, I would like to think that. Some English coaches have been asked. I would like to think that would be the case, but obviously I don't know. I certainly wasn't asked, so not that I was available. But for me, it's done now, and the important thing for us is as Premiership sides is to play very well and produce good players, and that's the best way we can help England be a successful side.
Is that meeting with him in the diary yet? Or?
No. I mean, obviously he's not going to start to December, is he? But I would imagine one of the first things to do is he'll come round and meet the clubs and want to start to meet the players who he's perceiving he's going to put into his EPS squad. So I imagine that all those kind of things will happen pretty quickly.
It's got a very short lead time, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, at the end of the day, though, I mean, they're not going to have a lot of training time together pre-Six Nations anyway. So, it's going to be the time he spends now probably meeting up with guys individually and just assessing the players. And, he's obviously a switched-on guy. He's been involved in some high-level coaching positions and he's done well in different places. So I'm sure he'll have a handle on what he wants to achieve, who he wants to bring in from the clubs, the kind of players he's looking at. I'm sure most of those things are pretty being thought of already.
Does it matter it's not an Englishman?
Well, it won't matter it's not an Englishman if he succeeds, will it? You know what I mean? And then that's a bit like what sport's about, isn't it? If he wins, it's going to be great, and I hope he does win. I hope England do well. I'm a proud Englishman. I want England to win things. So I'm not someone who's hoping that he fails because he's not English. I hope he's successful, and I hope he creates a good England team, and I hope there's some good extra players playing some good rugby for England. That's what we all want to see.
Well, you're producing a few.
Well, I hope so. Let's see if they get selected.
Thanks,
Thanks, guys.
Quickly.